Hey there, magical botanists and herbology enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're venturing into the darkest corners of magical horticulture, where beauty meets brutality, and one wrong move could be your last. That's right, we're counting down the 5 most dangerous plants in the Harry Potter universe. So grab your dragonhide gloves and protective goggles because things are about to get deadly. Starting off our deadly countdown, at number 5, we have the infamous Mandrakes. Now, you might think, how dangerous could a root vegetable be? Well, let me tell you, these aren't your grandmother's garden variety. First encountered by Harry and his classmates during Professor Sprout's second-year herbology lessons, mandrakes are among the most temperamental plants in the magical world. These human-like roots are essential for brewing the mandrake draught, the only known cure for petrification, but harvesting them is literally a matter of life and death. The cry of a mature mandrake is fatal to anyone who hears it. Even the baby mandrakes that the second years worked with could knock you unconscious with their wails. Professor Sprout made this crystal clear during that memorable lesson, where Neville Longbottom fainted after his earmuffs slipped. The danger isn't just in the screaming. These plants are incredibly aggressive. When Harry's class repotted the baby mandrakes, they witnessed firsthand how violent these creatures could be. The plants didn't want to be moved from their cozy pots and fought back with everything they had, biting fingers and throwing tantrums like magical toddlers from hell. What makes mandrakes particularly insidious is their deceptive appearance. Baby mandrakes look almost cute with their mottled purple-green skin and tufts of leaves growing from their heads. But don't let that fool you. As they mature, they become increasingly dangerous. When they start moving into each other's pots and having parties, that's when you know their cry is approaching lethal levels. The most chilling aspect, Professor Sprout mentioned that mature mandrakes are used not just for curing petrification, but their screams can actually kill. Imagine tending your magical garden and accidentally disturbing a fully grown mandrake without proper protection. It would be the last gardening mistake you'd ever make. Moving up to number 4, we encounter the sinister Venomous Tentacula. This plant takes the concept of killer vegetables to a whole new level, combining deadly toxins with aggressive hunting behavior that would make a wild animal jealous. The Venomous Tentacula is exactly what its name suggests, a plant armed with poisonous, mobile tentacles that can strike with lightning speed. We first learn about this botanical nightmare during Harry's herbology classes, where Professor Sprout warned students about the extreme dangers of handling these deadly specimens. What sets the Venomous Tentacula apart from other dangerous plants is its active hunting behavior. Unlike passive threats that you might accidentally stumble into, this plant actively seeks out prey. Its tentacles can reach considerable distances, allowing it to snare unsuspecting victims who think they're maintaining a safe distance. The venom produced by this plant is particularly nasty. Students learn that even a small amount can cause serious harm, which is why handling Venomous Tentacula requires not just dragonhide gloves, but full protective gear. The plant doesn't just bite or sting, it injects toxins that can cause paralysis, severe pain, and potentially death if left untreated. During the students' advanced herbology lessons, we see just how challenging these plants are to manage. They require constant vigilance and respect. One moment of inattention, one loose glove, or one careless movement could result in a venomous strike that would send you straight to the hospital wing. If you're lucky enough to get there in time, perhaps most terrifying is the plant's intelligence. The Venomous Tentacula seems to understand when it's being handled and actively resists care. It's not just a mindless plant following basic instincts. It appears to deliberately target areas where protective gear might be weakest, almost as if it's strategically planning its attacks. What makes this even more chilling is that these plants are kept at Hogwarts for educational purposes. Imagine being a first or second-year student, barely comfortable with basic magic, suddenly faced with a plant that's actively trying to poison you. It's a stark reminder that in the magical world, even your homework can be deadly. Taking the bronze medal of botanical terror at number 3, we have the absolutely terrifying Devil's Snare. This plant has earned its fearsome reputation through one of the most memorable and harrowing encounters in Harry Potter's first year at Hogwarts. Devil's Snare is the ultimate predator plant. It doesn't just attack, it captures, constricts, and slowly strangles its victims in a deadly embrace that becomes tighter the more you struggle. Harry, Ron, and Hermione discovered this horrifying truth firsthand when they fell through the trapdoor protecting the Philosopher's Stone. What makes Devil's Snare so incredibly dangerous is its psychological warfare. The plant preys on panic and fear. The more frantically you struggle, the tighter it squeezes. It's like being caught in a living nightmare, where your natural survival instincts actually work against you. Ron's terrified thrashing only made the vines wrap around him more aggressively, nearly crushing him to death. The plant's hunting strategy is diabolically clever. Devil's Snare typically grows in dark, damp places where it can remain hidden until prey stumbles into its reach. Once it has you, the vines move with surprising speed and strength, wrapping around limbs, torso, and neck with the power to snap bones and cut off breathing. Hermione's quick thinking saved the day when she remembered the crucial weakness. Devil's Snare hates bright light and warmth. But imagine if she hadn't been there, or if she'd panicked like Ron. The plant would have slowly squeezed the life out of all three of them in that dark chamber, their bodies becoming nothing more than fertilizer for this murderous vegetation. What's particularly chilling is how Devil's Snare seems almost intelligent in its approach. It doesn't just grab randomly, it systematically wraps around its victims in a way that maximizes control while minimizing their ability to escape. The vines target key areas like the chest to restrict breathing and the limbs to prevent movement. The plant's patience is perhaps its most terrifying quality. Unlike animals that kill quickly for food, Devil's Snare takes its time, slowly increasing pressure until its victim stops struggling permanently. It's a drawn-out, claustrophobic death that gives you plenty of time to contemplate your fate, while feeling your strength and breath slowly being squeezed away. Even more disturbing is the fact that Hogwarts deliberately planted Devil's Snare as part of their security system. They chose this plant specifically because it's an almost perfect trap. Once you're caught, escape requires not just knowledge, but the ability to remain calm under the most extreme pressure. Literally. Claiming our silver medal of plant-based terror at number 2, we have the absolutely devastating Whomping Willow. This isn't just a tree, it's a wooden weapon of mass destruction that has terrorized Hogwarts students for decades. The Whomping Willow stands as Hogwarts' most aggressive resident, a massive tree that attacks anything and anyone who comes within its considerable reach. With branches thick as pythons and a temper shorter than Professor Snape's patience with Neville, this botanical beast has earned its reputation through decades of destruction. Harry and Ron learned about the Whomping Willow's devastating power in the most dramatic way possible during their second year, when Mr. Weasley's flying Ford Anglia crash-landed into the tree. What followed was an absolute masterclass in plant-based violence. The tree didn't just push the car away, it systematically destroyed it with methodical, brutal efficiency. What makes the Whomping Willow so incredibly dangerous is its combination of size, strength, and pure aggression. This tree can swing branches with enough force to crush a car, shatter bones, or send a full-grown wizard flying through the air like a rag doll. When it attacked the Ford Anglia, we saw branches moving with the speed and power of professional fighters throwing devastating punches. The tree's attack pattern is particularly terrifying. It doesn't just swing wildly. The Whomping Willow seems to target its victims strategically, using different branches to herd them into position for devastating finishing blows. When Harry and Ron were trapped in the car, the tree systematically attacked from multiple angles, preventing any escape while delivering increasingly powerful strikes. Perhaps most frightening is the tree's apparent ability to hold grudges. When the Ford Anglia finally escaped, the Whomping Willow actually threw broken branches after it, as if expressing frustration that its prey had gotten away. This suggests a level of awareness and memory that makes the tree not just dangerous, but vindictive. The Whomping Willow's violence isn't limited to defending itself. It actively seeks out targets within its range. Students quickly learn to give this tree an extremely wide berth, because it will attack anything that moves within its territory, whether it poses a threat or not. A simple walk too close to the tree could result in broken bones, concussion, or worse. What's particularly chilling is the tree's endurance. Unlike animals that might tire from fighting, the Whomping Willow can maintain its aggressive assault indefinitely. It pummeled that Ford Anglia for what felt like hours, never showing any signs of fatigue, never backing down, never showing mercy. The most disturbing aspect of the Whomping Willow is that it was deliberately planted at Hogwarts. The school administration chose to install what is essentially a wooden killing machine on their grounds, knowing full well that curious students might wander too close. The fact that it remains there, despite the obvious danger to students, suggests that its violent reputation serves as its own warning system. Even more terrifying is the revelation that there's actually a way to calm the Whomping Willow, a secret knot that temporarily stops its violent behavior. But this means getting close enough to touch the tree while it's actively trying to pulverize you, making the cure almost as dangerous as the problem. Actually, let me stop right there. While researching the most dangerous plants in the Harry Potter universe, I realized something important. We need to talk about the true #1 threat, and it's something that often gets overlooked because of its deceptive simplicity. Taking the crown as the most dangerous plant situation in the Harry Potter universe, we need to talk about Gillyweed. Not because the plant itself is inherently deadly, but because of the life-or-death circumstances surrounding its use. Gillyweed appears innocent enough. A magical seaweed that grants temporary underwater breathing abilities by growing gills and webbed hands and feet. Sounds helpful, right? Well, that's exactly what makes it so dangerous in the wrong circumstances. During the second task of the Triwizard Tournament, Harry's life literally depended on this unassuming plant. Without it, he would have drowned in the Black Lake while trying to rescue Ron. But here's the terrifying part. Nobody told Harry how long the effects would last. Imagine being 60 feet underwater, breathing through magically grown gills, when suddenly you feel the effects starting to wear off. Harry experienced this exact nightmare as he rose toward the surface, feeling his gills beginning to close and his breathing becoming labored. Those final moments underwater were a race against suffocation. What makes Gillyweed particularly dangerous is the complete dependency it creates. Once you're underwater, relying on its effects, you're literally betting your life on the plant's duration and potency. There's no halfway point, either it works perfectly, or you die. There's no room for error, no backup plan, no safety net. The most terrifying aspect is the uncertainty. Different sources give different information about how long Gillyweed lasts. Harry was told it would last about an hour, But what if the plant was old? What if his body processed it differently? What if he'd taken too little? These variables could mean the difference between completing his task and drowning in the depths of the Black Lake. Consider the psychological horror Harry must have experienced. As the effects began to wear off while he was still underwater, he would have felt his breathing becoming more difficult, his webbed hands and feet returning to normal, making swimming more laborious, all while being far from the surface. It's a drowning person's worst nightmare. Feeling your life support slowly failing while safety remains impossibly far away. What pushes Gillyweed to the top of our list isn't just the immediate danger, it's the calculated risk involved. Unlike other dangerous plants that attack you, Gillyweed requires you to voluntarily put your life in its hands. You have to consciously choose to trust this plant with your survival, knowing that if it fails, you're dead. The Black Lake itself compounds the danger exponentially. This isn't a shallow pond where help might be nearby, it's a deep, dark body of water filled with dangerous creatures like green dillos and merpeople. If the Gillyweed failed, Harry wouldn't just drown, he'd drown alone in the dark depths, possibly becoming prey for the lake's other inhabitants. Perhaps most chilling is how normal Gillyweed appears. It looks like ordinary seaweed, the kind you might step on at the beach without a second thought. There's no obvious warning, no threatening appearance, no clear indication that your life hangs in the balance when you consume it. It's the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. The true danger of Gillyweed lies in its deceptive simplicity and the extreme circumstances of its use. While other plants on our list attack or threaten you directly, Gillyweed becomes deadly through complete dependency in life-threatening situations. It's not just about the plant itself. It's about trusting your life to something you don't fully understand, while being in a situation where failure means certain death. Before we wrap up, let's give some honorable mentions to other notably dangerous plants in the wizarding world. We have the Snargaloof, whose pods fight back violently when harvested, requiring multiple people to safely extract their contents. There's also the mention of various other aggressive magical plants that students encounter during their advanced herbology studies. We can't forget about the Chinese chomping cabbage, which lives up to its name with aggressive biting behavior, or the various other specimens that Professor Sprout warns her students about throughout their magical education. So there you have it, the 5 most dangerous plants in the Harry Potter universe. From the screaming death of Mandrakes to the deceptive danger of Gillyweed, these botanical nightmares remind us that in the magical world, even the plants can kill you. What's fascinating is how these plants reflect the broader theme of the Harry Potter series. That danger often comes from unexpected sources, and knowledge truly is the best defense. Professor Sprout's careful instruction and Hermione's quick thinking have literally saved lives when it comes to these deadly specimens. Which of these dangerous plants terrified you the most? Are you brave enough to handle a mandrake, or would you rather face down a dragon than get caught by Devil's Snare? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your most feared magical flora. Don't forget to like this video if it made you appreciate Herbology class a little more. Subscribe for more deep dives into the magical world, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest explorations into the darker corners of wizarding knowledge. And if you love dark secrets and dragon drama, don't miss my Game of Thrones channel. Link in the description below. Until next time, remember, in the magical world, even your salad might be trying to kill you. Stay safe, fellow witches and wizards, and may your protective gear always be dragon hide strong.